gmna uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening. Tonight we'll examine the cultural group's push for 3% of the provincial budget for the arts and preview the 42 major road projects slated for this fall, while traffic reports show moderate delays. Over to you, Emma.
MUTEK 2026 kicks off Friday, September 22 at the Grand Salle, featuring immersive audio-visual installations and live electronic performances throughout downtown Montreal.
Tickets are available online, priced from $30 for a single day with a 3-day pass at $75, and free workshops scheduled each morning.
Headliners include electronic pioneer Autechre, visual artist Rafik Anadol, and Montreal's own Caribou, while the closing ceremony features a sunrise drone light show over the Old Port.
MUTEK's doors open tonight and the audience fills the halls, anticipation buzzing. Lots to get to, let's begin together. Here are our top stories. Culture Montreal is urging the provincial government to allocate 3% of Quebec's budget to the arts, presenting 37 recommendations ahead of the new administration's formation. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Culture Montreal is urging the new provincial administration to earmark 3% of Quebec's overall budget for the cultural sector. The group unveiled a slate of 37 specific recommendations aimed at boosting public financing and expanding support for artists, venues, and heritage projects across the province. By presenting the plan ahead of the incoming government's first session, the organization hopes to shape policy before budgets are set. Officials say the proposals target everything from grant structures to tax incentives, with an eye on keeping Montreal's vibrant scene competitive nationally and internationally. The appeal comes as Quebec prepares to allocate its next fiscal package, and cultural leaders stress the sector's economic contribution. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
42 large-scale road construction projects are slated to begin across the Greater Montreal region this autumn, officials said. The work will span highways, bridges, and arterial streets, targeting bottlenecks on Autoroute 40, Autoroute 15, and the Jacques Cartier Bridge corridor. Contractors expect each project to run for several months, with some extending into winter, meaning commuters should anticipate lane closures, detours, and slower travel times throughout the season. The province has allocated significant funding to accelerate the upgrades, aiming to improve safety and reduce congestion long-term. Transportation planners warn that the cumulative impact could add up to an hour of extra travel during peak periods, especially on routes linking the island to the South Shore and the North Shore. Drivers are urged to check real-time traffic alerts and consider alternate routes where possible.
Later today, 21 mayors from municipalities on the North Shore will gather to sign a mobility pact aimed at cutting car reliance and urging the province to expand public transit before the upcoming election. The agreement, unveiled at a press conference in the region, frames the election as a window to secure stronger rail and bus services for commuters traveling into the island. Officials highlighted congestion on the Champlain and Jacques Cartier bridges and the need for faster, more frequent connections to downtown. They said the pact will pressure the provincial government to prioritize new REM extensions and bus rapid transit corridors. The mayors stressed that better transit is essential for reducing traffic, improving air quality, and supporting economic growth across the North Shore. The signing ceremony is scheduled for this afternoon at the regional municipal complex.
Montreal City Council rejected an amended motion to suspend municipal ties with Israel, keeping existing cooperation in place. The decision came after heated debate among council members. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Councillors gathered Thursday night in the downtown chamber, reviewing an amended motion that sought to suspend Montreal's municipal cooperation with Israel. After a brief debate, members voted to reject the proposal, keeping existing partnerships intact. The amendment had trimmed language that called for a full termination of cultural and economic exchanges, but the core request remained. Earlier this month, the council had debated a broader initiative to end municipal ties with the Israeli government, prompting heated discussion among parties. Tonight's vote reflects a shift toward maintaining the status quo, with a few councillors noting concerns over legal and financial implications. The decision leaves current joint projects and sister city arrangements unchanged. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
The West Island Municipality's mayor has sounded the alarm over an 18th-century farmhouse that is rapidly deteriorating. The historic structure, long a landmark on the island's outskirts, now sits in a state of disrepair, prompting a heated debate among local residents. Some argue that a costly restoration would preserve a rare piece of the region's heritage, while others contend that demolition may be the only practical option. The mayor warned that leaving the crumbling walls unchecked could create a safety hazard for nearby homes and pedestrians. Council will convene next week to weigh the financial and structural implications, and a public hearing is slated for the end of September. As the community grapples with the decision, the farmhouse remains a stark reminder of the challenges in balancing preservation with public safety. Later, we'll explore how the Quebec bar's new AI lawyers could ease the shortage, and what that means for you. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Earlier today, the Barreau du Québec voted to amend its professional regulations, opening the door for artificial intelligence systems to deliver legal advice without fear of prosecution. The change comes as the province grapples with soaring legal fees and a pronounced shortage of practicing lawyers, a situation that has left many citizens without affordable representation. Under the new rules, AI platforms may handle routine matters such as contract reviews, tenancy disputes, and basic civil filings, while human counsel remains required for complex litigation. The Bar Council emphasized that the measure is intended to supplement, not replace, the work of hundreds of lawyers who continue to serve the public. Critics warned that reliance on machines could raise ethical concerns, but the council argued the step is necessary to ensure access to justice across the province.
Judge denies bail for an asylum seeker charged with defrauding Spain of €1 million and Quebec of $180,000 in welfare benefits. He remains detained pending trial. Remy Gaudreau has the full story.
A judge on Tuesday denied bail to an asylum seeker accused of siphoning €1 million from Spanish authorities and $180,000 from Quebec's welfare program. Prosecutors say the man used dozens of false identities to obtain the funds, first targeting the Spanish state and later the provincial social assistance system. The court ruled he must remain in custody pending trial, citing the seriousness of the alleged fraud and the risk of further deception. No further details on his identity were released, and the case will proceed in the coming weeks. The hearing took place in a Montreal courtroom, where the magistrate emphasized the need to safeguard public funds. Remy Gaudreau, GMNA News, Montreal.
Today, La Salle College announced it has entered creditor protection and suspended all classes after a $30 million fine remained unpaid, prompting the provincial government to withhold its funding. The private post-secondary institution, located in the city's southwest, said the financial strain forced the decision, which will keep the campus closed while administrators work with a court-appointed monitor. Officials confirmed the fine stems from regulatory violations, and the province has frozen any further disbursements until the debt is settled. Students were informed of the suspension via email, and the college is exploring options to resume operations once the protection order is lifted. The move adds La Salle College to a growing list of Quebec schools facing financial distress, and the situation remains under review by provincial education authorities. The creditor protection filing will be heard in court next month, and the college hopes to negotiate a payment plan with the province.
Quebec businesses have moved swiftly as the United States unveiled a fresh round of tariffs under President Donald Trump. Across the province, manufacturers, food producers, and apparel exporters are rolling out what they call Trump discounts, slashing prices on a range of goods destined for the American market. At the same time, several trade groups have launched coordinated boycotts, urging consumers to avoid products that could be caught in the new duty regime. Officials say the measures aim to preserve market share and protect jobs while signaling resistance to what they view as unfair trade barriers. The campaign, which began this week, is being promoted through social media, industry newsletters, and in-store signage. Analysts note the strategy could intensify price competition and test the durability of cross-border supply chains as the tariff dispute unfolds.
A tariff dispute between the United States and Canada is putting Quebec's apple growers at risk, potentially raising costs and restricting market access for the province's orchards. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Farmers across the province are bracing for a sharp hit as a new tariff dispute with the United States threatens to erode the competitiveness of Quebec's apple orchards. Jérôme Antin Brunel of the Producteurs de Pommes du Québec warned that higher duties could push up production costs and close off key export channels, leaving growers scrambling to find new markets. The broader U.S.-Canada tariff war has already tightened margins for several agricultural sectors, and apples are now the latest casualty. If the standoff persists, Quebec growers risk losing their foothold in the lucrative American market, a shift that could ripple through rural communities dependent on the fruit harvest. Local cooperatives are already exploring alternative trade routes to keep their trees bearing fruit. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Quebec.
Now let's turn to the weather for a quick look at tonight's conditions across the region.
A strengthening ridge drifts east, squeezing the jet and locking in tonight's clear, mild air over Montreal. On this date, Montreal once scorched to 32.9 degrees in 2021, the tail end of an unprecedented heat wave that pushed the city into record territory. Just a few years earlier, in 2017, a bitter front drove temperatures down to 11 degrees, a rare plunge for late August. By contrast, the climatological average hovers around 24 degrees high and 15 degrees low. Those normals frame today's mild swing between 24 and 15, a reminder how today sits comfortably between the extremes. The live radar shows a pristine canvas across southern Quebec. No rain echoes from the St. Lawrence corridor, and the echo-free band stretches from the Ottawa Valley to the eastern townships. With high pressure climbing and the jet stream slicing northwest at a brisk 50 km/h pace, the atmosphere remains stable. No precipitation is expected to reach the city tonight, and the clear pattern should persist until sunrise. At 6 p.m., Montreal sits at 21 degrees with mainly clear skies and a gentle west wind at 11 km/h. Near average pressure is rising, sealing in a dome of high pressure that will keep the air dry through the night. The jet stream overhead, a swift northwest current, reinforces subsidence and prevents any lingering moisture from organizing. Temperatures will dip steadily, reaching 15 degrees by midnight as radiative cooling takes hold. No rain is forecast, and the UV index reads 5. There are no active weather alerts. With the ridge solidifying, the next few hours remain tranquil, humidity holding near 62% and visibility staying well beyond 10 kilometers. We now turn to the 5-day outlook. Wednesday brings a persistent overcast sky as the ridge loosens slightly, keeping highs around 24 degrees and lows near 15. The cloud cover will limit any sunshine, but the air stays mild. Thursday sees the next wave of moisture arrive from the Great Lakes, pushing the jet stream deeper south. Expect a chance of rain at 65%, with temperatures nudging up to 26 degrees and lows holding at 16. Friday clears dramatically as high pressure reasserts, delivering a crisp 21-degree high and 15-degree low under a bright sky. Saturday remains similarly clear, with a gentle rise to 22 degrees and a steady 15-degree night. Sunday reintroduces clouds and a moderate rain probability of 35%, while temperatures climb to 26 degrees and dip to 17 overnight. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic's moving with moderate delays, the Canadians under 25 star shines, and tonight's MUTEK lineup promises excitement. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Major slowdowns persist in the Viger Tunnel between Rue Panet and Boulevard Robert Bourassa. Traffic is backed up, and drivers should expect an additional travel time of 10 to 15 minutes. Just to the west, the Ville-Marie Tunnel from Boulevard Robert Bourassa to Boulevard St. Laurent also remains under major hindrance, creating similar delays through downtown. Motorists heading east on Autoroute Ville-Marie will encounter a minor hindrance at Exit 5 for Rue Mansfield. The lane reduction adds only a few minutes but can cause brief queues during peak flow. Aside from those choke points, the rest of the highway network is moving freely with no reported incidents. On the transit side, all bus and metro lines are operating on schedule, so commuters can rely on regular service this afternoon. Overall, expect moderate delays across the core corridors, and consider alternate routes such as Rue Saint-Claude or the Champlain Bridge if you need to shave off travel time.
Montreal is buzzing with MUTEK 2026, the city's flagship digital music and arts festival, lighting up Place des Arts and venues across the island. From avant-garde soundscapes to immersive visuals, it's the place to be for anyone craving cutting-edge culture. It draws innovators from around the globe, turning the city into a living laboratory of sound. If you're looking for something more intimate, head to Velera Café Patisserie in St. Henry for Cleo Sol's Gold album listening party. The soulful singer's new record rolls out in a cozy setting, perfect for fans who want to hear the tracks before anyone else. And for a relaxed evening under the sky, Picnic Electronic continues at Parc Jean Drapeau, where electronic beats mingle with food trucks and family-friendly vibes. It's the perfect weekend soundtrack for families and friends gathering by the water. Later this week, the World Press Photo Exhibition opens at Marché Bonsecours, showcasing award-winning images that remind us why photography matters. It invites us to see the world through the eyes of those who risk everything to capture truth. And now here's Jason with sports.
The Habs' future unfolds as prospects rise and the Atlantic looms. Florian Exekaj lands at 14 on the top 25 under 25 list, praised for his relentless edge-to-edge play and surprising offensive touch. After a rookie season of 24 goals in Laval, he posted 17 goals and 12 assists this year, signaling a potential top 4 defense role for Montreal. The Atlantic Division remains the group of death, with each rival boasting distinct strengths. NHL Network's 9th place ranking for Nick Suzuki sits lower than many expected, while the Canadiens plot their return timeline. Meanwhile, Joe Sakic's confidence that Cal Macker will sign before the 2026-27 season adds another layer to the division's intrigue. Owen Beck, a 2022 draft center, has shed rookie anonymity to become a known commodity. 4 years of AHL seasoning and 27 NHL games confirm his projection, highlighted by his first Canadiens goal last season after earlier attempts were denied. He now positions himself as a reliable middle six option. Nick Suzuki climbs to 9th on NHL Network centerman list, edging up from 10th a year ago, reinforcing his status among the league's elite. The move fuels discussions on the lingering Josh Anderson trade and forces a look at San Jose's blue line upgrades as the Habs eye their own roster balance. Yvonne Lambert, a beloved Lakeshore General Hospital patient, continues his recovery from fractures sustained in a fall, offering a human interest pause amid hockey news. The piece also revisits Montreal's draft pick trade for Michael Hage and hints at an upcoming expansion announcement, keeping fans' eyes on the league's growth. Hayden Popinkies embraces the NCAA challenge, eager to test his skills against older, seasoned players. His development dovetails with projections that Montreal and San Jose could dominate the Cup race in 5 years, while the Laval Rockets' roster overhaul and the mysterious disappearance of the Walter Cup add intrigue to the organization's broader narrative. Stay tuned as the Habs shape tomorrow's roster and rivalry.
Thanks, Jason. Ecopulse, nestled in the heart of Ville-Marie downtown, just steps from the bustling Rue St. Laurent, has just closed a $2 million seed round led by Real Ventures. The funding will accelerate its AI-driven platform that trims energy use in Montreal's office towers, launching pilot projects in several downtown buildings and adding 8 new engineers and data scientists to the team. This infusion of capital not only fast-tracks product development, but also deepens the city's green tech ecosystem, creating high-skilled jobs right here at home. It also partners with local universities, giving students hands-on experience in real-world climate solutions. For Montrealers who care about cleaner streets and cooler summers, EcoPulse shows how local innovation can power a more sustainable future for all of us. Up next, we'll cover 901 Taschereau line debut on South Shore, a boost for commuters. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. The new 901 Taschereau bus line begins service today, linking previously separate transit territories across Montreal's South Shore and unifying municipal routes for the first time. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Service on the new 901 Taschereau route rolled out this morning, stitching together the once separate transit networks that crisscross the South Shore. Buses now run from the eastern edge of St. Laurent to the western hub of Boucherville, stopping at major shopping centers, schools, and commuter rail stations along the way. Riders who previously needed to transfer between different agencies will now enjoy a single fare system and coordinated schedules. The line, operated by the Regional Transit Authority, runs every 15 minutes during peak periods and every 30 minutes off-peak, with a fleet of low-floor, wheelchair-accessible vehicles. Officials said the corridor will ease congestion on the nearby highway and give residents a smoother link to downtown Montreal. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, South Shore.
Montreal's mayor warned that recent U.S. tariff increases are jeopardizing the city's economy, putting pressure on local businesses and consumers. Nadia Bellafuel has the full story.
The mayor warned today that the surge in U.S. tariffs is squeezing Montreal's economy. She said heightened duties on imported goods are forcing manufacturers and retailers to absorb higher costs or pass them to consumers. Small businesses, which form a large share of the city's commercial fabric, feel the pressure most acutely. The mayor urged provincial and federal partners to seek relief, noting that continued tariff escalation could erode jobs and investment. Officials are reviewing measures to cushion the impact while negotiations continue at the bilateral level. The city is monitoring the situation closely as firms grapple with the new trade reality. She described the situation as extremely concerning for the city's long-term growth prospects. Nadia Bellafuel, GMNA News, Montreal.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunset. Tonight we saw North Shore mayors sign a pact to push for better transit, a promising step for our region. We appreciate your trust in us. Tune in tomorrow for more stories that matter to our city and stay informed.